Okay, let's talk about things math students say after they get some sort of test or quiz grade that didn't go too well. So here we have our little stick figure math student, and they got their little quiz back with an F or D, and that's pretty harsh to do. Nobody wants to get this. Certainly, I've experienced getting a poor grade, but what I'm going to share with you is typical responses that I've heard over years and years and years of teaching math that I think we can learn something from, what comes out of people's, their how they express themselves. They get this and typically they say something like this. And these are common phrases that I've heard thousands and tens of thousands of times. So maybe you've said these phrases, but let's see if we can actually learn something from these responses, okay? So we can avoid getting things like this. But before we do that, let me go ahead and quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I am the founder of TabletClass Math, and you guessed it, I am also a middle and high school math teacher. And over the years, I've constructed what I like to believe is one of the best online math programs there is. Of course, I'll let you be the judge of that, and you can find a link to my Math Help program in the description of this video. But whether you need to take a full course or need assistance in the course that you're taking, I can help you. So my Math Help program contains full comprehensive full lessons, and I teach you how to solve the most common middle and high school math problems there are. Okay, so I literally solve thousands of problems all via video. It's taken me years to build this thing. So if you're interested, you could just find the link to it in the description of this video. Now, if you're taking math, an actual course right now, which I kind of assume you are, I need to stress to you the importance of taking notes. Okay, this is one of the most critical things that you need to be looking at to kind of predict where you're going to be going in terms of your math grade. Okay, so things like this we want to try to avoid, right? That's the whole point of this video. But by taking great math notes, you're going to be doing yourself a huge service. And over the decades of teaching math, one thing is kind of apparent to me. Those students who take great math notes almost always do very, very well in math. And the reverse is true. Those students who take poor notes, no notes, inconsistent notes, you kind of get the picture, typically have a hard time in math. So improve on your note taking if you need to do that. But in the meantime, you need something to study from. So I actually offer comprehensive detailed math notes. Those would include pre-algebra, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, and trigonometry. You can find links to those in the description of this video as well. Okay, so let's get into this. And I just want to make this kind of a light video. I'm not trying to beat up on anyone out there. If you said these responses, believe me, I've said these responses as a math student. I'm sure in elementary school, middle school, high school, probably even college. Okay, it's just normal type of responses. But let's just dig in, see if you said any of these things, and then let's see if we can learn anything from these responses. Okay, so my first one is my favorite response that I've heard, and that is, I knew that, I knew that, I knew that. Oh, yeah, yeah, I knew that. So, for example, here is the person's paper, and let's say we're talking about problem number 9, and they got that wrong, okay? But on problem number 9, the students writing out their problem, and they're like, boom, and they got the wrong answer right there. And they're coming to me and are saying, "Oh, I knew that. You marked this wrong. I knew that. I knew that. I knew that. Trust me, believe me. I know I made that error, but I knew what to do." Right? I've heard that. This is probably I'm going to just probably say I've heard this 100 million times, and I'm sure I've said it equally as much as a student myself. So, and the number one phrase I've heard is "I knew that." And some of you out there are probably saying, "Yeah, I think I might have said something like that or something similar to this phrase." Man, it's natural, right? You're frustrated. You're like, boy, man. You look at the work. Sometimes students can't even believe that they did that. They'll have this response. They'll be like, "What? I can't even believe I did this. I knew that. I knew that. I can't. I just wrote the wrong stuff down. Please help. Mercy. Give me some points for this because trust me, I knew that." Well, listen, it doesn't work that way, right? And oftentimes I say, "I know that you knew that, but you did not show me that." And that's what it comes down to. That's why focus, paying attention, being ready, all that stuff, especially for exams, are so important. So this phrase, I knew that, is it's an interesting kind of response because it kind of goes to preparation. Okay, if you knew that, why didn't you demonstrate that? Right? Well, you're not paying attention, you're not focused, or maybe you didn't practice enough. Okay, so you want to avoid this. This is actually, I'd rather hear this phrase, I knew that, than I don't even know what this is. Okay, like you getting like a big question mark, on here, like, what's that? We learned that. I don't even know what that is. Okay, and that kind of brings me to my next phrase that I heard was like, I don't remember learning that. Okay, I don't remember that in class. I don't remember that. You didn't teach that. Why? And this was on a test. This was in the homework. I've heard this 10,000 times as well. Okay. And let's talk about this phrase. Okay. Well, what does this mean? I don't remember learning that. Well, if a teacher is going to give you a test, all right, they're testing you on the concepts, all right? Just because you are faced with a problem that wasn't exactly like a homework problem or what was taught in class, I'm pretty sure your teacher is building the concepts and skills that if you had them, you could apply to solve these particular problems. So don't take for granted that the exam and test questions that you're going to get are going to be exactly what was like in every single lecture or every single homework problem. The key is to have mastery of that of those topics, okay, of those concepts, so you can apply them just to handle out of the box type of questions. All right, so this is not kind of again an excuse, right? They're like, I don't remember learning that in class. Well, yeah, I taught you the concepts so you can handle a problem like that. So that's, I would say, more often than not, it's not even that. It's generally students not paying attention. Okay. I don't remember learning that in class. Yes, I gave you this exact problem 10 times over, but you were too busy talking to your buddy over here, okay, about the latest whatever, okay. Oh, this video game is really cool, blah 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 blah, da, 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 everything else, and then in this 60-second conversation, I gave you the keys, boop, 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 to how to solve this problem. Okay. Again, that's why note taking is an excellent indicator of how well someone's going to do in math, because you can't take great detailed notes if you're distracted talking about X, Y, and Z. Okay. So I don't remember learning that in class. Yeah, I taught you that, but you just don't remember. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this other phrase. Can you give me partial credit? Can you give me partial credit? Well, that's actually one thing that you should say as a student. You should always ask for mercy as a math student. If you get number 9, and by the way, okay, partial credit, teachers will give you, well, let's go back to this here. Hold on, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's say you got 3 points out of 10 on this question. And this right here was the difference between a B and an A on a test, right? You got these 7 points off. So, and it was one of these, I knew that, I knew that, I knew that, all right? And I saw you as one of those students that really were trying to do, taking good notes, really cared about, paying attention, had a good attitude. Can you give me partial credit? Well, I'm going to already be thinking about that student when I'm grading them. Okay, I'm not going to overly punish you. In other words, if I can give you one more point and you can get an A, most teachers, depending on, believe me, math teachers, it's subjective. Okay, that's not concrete. In terms of how many points you get. How many points a teacher decides to take off in a particular question, right? So you should always plead your case, no matter what. Can you give me partial credit? Always ask, okay? Even if you get the answer no, it shows that you care, okay? So can you give me partial credit? Well, let me take a look at this. So what I might do is like this. Oh, I knew that, I knew that, I knew that. Well, guess what I might do? I might, on the spot, say, okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. Go ahead and go to the board right now and solve this problem. I'll change the numbers. I'll give them a different problem, similar problem, but just different values. If you can solve this problem, I'll give you 2 points on this, okay? So if they can prove to me that, in fact, they did know something, then, maybe I will, bump them up a little bit, okay? But you should always be asking as a student for more points, okay? And that brings me to my last little phrase here. Can you give me makeup work? Well, This would kind of be like if you're getting towards the end of the year and you're at a C minus or D and you're struggling, okay? A teacher is going to always look to help you, okay? Give you opportunities to make up so you can fail. Now, the worst thing is for a teacher, and a student. Believe me, it's not happy stuff for a student to fail in a math class. You want to avoid that at all cost. The teacher does as well. So they're going to give you opportunity after opportunity. But you should, you know, when you start sensing yourself struggling, you should immediately go for as much help as you possibly can. Hey, can you if I uh, show you that I care and I know what I'm doing, can you give me makeup work, partial credit, whatever? What happens with a lot of students is, they'll start maybe with an A, then if they start struggling, they're like, oh, now I'm down to a B. Okay, now it's the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and here's the end of the year. And they're like, oh, then now they get knocked down to a C. Now they're in a panic state because now at this point in the course, it's very difficult and they're just struggling to keep at the C level. And if they dip right down, any lower, they're going to be at a D or F. Okay. The key is this: once you were dipping down to a B right here, once you started going down, don't get comfortable. Okay. Because math throughout a course is going to get more challenging. It's going to build upon itself. And the best thing you could do is once you start having problems in math, okay, struggling, don't just be like, I still have a pretty good math grade. I'll just do better the next chapter. It doesn't work that way. Okay, always be focusing on each and every topic. Okay, super important because math does build upon itself. But if you've said any of these phrases, guess what? Join the club because I've said them, I'm sure, throughout the years. And, they're kind of natural phrases to say, but learn something. Okay, when you say something, I'd have to say, I knew that is my number one top phrase. It's such a cool phrase. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that phrase, I'd be a trillionaire. Can't even say that right. A billionaire. Let's say at least a billionaire. Easily a millionaire. But anyways, hopefully you got some entertainment value out of this video and you actually learned something. Okay, so don't get frustrated if you're struggling in math. Okay, even though I'm sure you are. Okay, the thing is to do something about it. And as a math teacher, I'm telling you what to do. Okay, is you got to be very aggressive on correcting your situation. Goes directly to your math teacher, like over prepare, attack your situation. You can turn it around, believe me. Okay, but if you rest on your laurels and be like, things will get better, things will be okay, and just hope, hope and luck is not a strategy. It doesn't work out that way. Okay. All right. So if you enjoyed this video in some way, okay, please consider smashing that like button. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing as well. I actually have hundreds of math videos on my channel, basic to advanced math, organized in various playlists. They're all there for you. But if you want my best work, check out the links in the description of this video. Okay, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.